Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Today we are continuing from Al-Qawl fil Quran from the book of Imam Abu Hanifa Al-Fiqh Al-Akbar. And he said, Wal Quranu kalamullahi ta'ala. And Quran is the speech of Allah. Fil masahifi maktubun, which is written in the masahif, in the books. You see the papers, Quran is being written in the books, in the papers. Such writings, they are all the speech of Allah. وَفِي الْقُلُوبِ مَحْفُوظٌ, which has been memorized or protected in the heart. وَعَلَى الْأَلْسُنِ مَقْرُوءٌ, which is also recited on the tongue. وَعَلَى النَّبِيِّ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ مُنَزَّلٌ, which is also revealed upon the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this is the belief system of Ahlul Sunnah regarding what Quran is. They ask you, what is the Quran? What is your belief regarding Quran? You say what? It is the speech of Allah. Written in the books, memorized in the heart, recited on the tongue, was revealed upon the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right? That is the belief of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Then we come here, he said, وَلَفْظُنَا بِالْقُرْآنِ مَخْلُوقٌ. This statement is not part of the statement of Abu Hanifa because the separation of the Quran into lafz and ma'na, that ideology came way back after Abu Hanifa period. And so these people are usually the Ash'ari and the Maturidiyya. They have the idea that the Quran, we have the Quran as the ma'na, the meaning form, and then the utterance form, right? And then they said the meaning form of it is the speech of Allah. Allah speak it, right? And then we are saying it with the meaning, say the loves about what Allah meant when He said it, right? So because they said Allah's speech does not need alphabet of Arabic alphabet, and then the sound of Arabic, right? That's what the Ashari and the Maturidi says. But to be in safest side, we said Allah is the one who speak out the Quran. He speak it out, even though he might not need us, he might not need the words, what they call it, the Ashaira, they said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he speak without the need of huruf, without the need of letters, and without the need of sound. That's the understanding of the Ashaira, right? But we, the creation, because we need letters and sound to understand the word of Allah, and so Allah made it possible for His speech to come to us with harf and sound, with letters and sound. So, ala kulli hal, walafdina bil Quran makhluk, our utterance with the Quran is created. Wa kitabatuna lahu makhluqa, and our doctrine, our writing of the Quran is also created. وَقِرَاءَتُنَا لَهُ مَخْلُوقًا, and our recitation of the Quran too is created. وَالْقُرْآنُ غَيْرُ مَخْلُوقٍ, and Quran is not created. Yani, what it means over here is that when you recite, the movement of your tongue, the recitation of your tongue, the sound coming from your voice, when you take a pen and you write ba, si, mim, bismi, the writing, you are making the action with your own hands. So that action is created because all the creation of all the actions or all the work of the created being is also created, right? And when you are reciting, right, all the sound, the movement of your lips and all that is all created because it is the action of you, the human being, or you, the reciter body. And so the movement of your body too is created. But the Quran itself is not created because it is the speech of Allah, and the speech of Allah is not created. But the speech of human being or any other creation is what is created. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He speaks, right? But He speaks at the time He wills, right? So if, for example, you take a human being, for example, If they give birth to a child, the child cannot speak. He has no ability to speak. Even if he wish to speak, he cannot. Right? He will have to wait for about 2 to 3 years before he will be able to speak. Right? Even he need it. He need the speech. He need something. He cannot say, "I want this." Right? But he need to speak, or he want to speak, but he cannot. So that make him deficient. Right? That make him less as a human being. He had a time that he want to speak, but he cannot. But when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, eternally he has already have the ability to speak, even when there were no creation for him to speak to them. Right? He was already a person, or sorry, he was already a body, he was already a being who has the ability to speak, even when there was nothing for him to speak to. Right? And so, but Allah only speak at the time he was. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the ability to speak even when there was nothing for him to speak to. And then when he created his creation, like the angels, or when he created the pen, and then he now tell the pen, write, and the pen begin to write everything that is going to happen. When Musa alayhi salam came, he speak to him directly. Then when Musa alayhi salam now heard it. It's not the time that when he speak to Musa that he gained the ability to speak. No, not the time that he commanded the pen to write was the time he gained the ability to write. He was already having the ability to speak, but he only speak at the time he was. And then, وما ذكره الله في القرآن حكاية عن موسى وغيره من الأنبياء عليهم الصلاة والسلام. وما ذكره الله في القرآن, and whatever Allah mentioned in the Quran, حكاية عن موسى, narrating from Musa وغيره من الأنبياء, and any other prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon them. وعن فرعون, what he narrated about Fir'aun, وإبليس, and what he narrated about Satan. فإن ذلك كله كلام الله. Indeed, all that is the speech of Allah. إخبارا عنهم, which he is informing us about. He's informing us about them. Yani, when you check in the Shadow of Fiqh Akbar by Abil Muntaha, he said, the ikhbaran anhum, yani Allah is what transmitting to us the meaning of what they said, but not word to word of what they said. Allah know what they said, but He transmit to us based on the meaning of what they said, but not loves of what they said. Right? So it is not like Musa alayhi salam say something or Firaun said something, then Allah copy what he said. Right? If Allah should copy what Firaun said or what Musa said, it will be as if Allah pick up their speech and it is not his speech. Right? So that's why it's ikhbaran anhum. Allah is informing us of what they do about them. Right? He's narrating to us about what happened with them, informing us about them, not he picking word to word of what they say. Right? Allah already know what they were to say before they said it. And so he is informing us what they do and what they say, not copying from what they do or what they say. It's not copying their speech. And so you say, okay, Musa said this and Allah said it. That means Allah speak Musa's speech. No. Allah informing us about what Musa alayhi salam said and what Fir'aun said and what Iblis said, not copying from them. His what? Nakla, it is what? The ikhbaran anhum is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transmitting to us the meaning of what they said. يعني نقل المعنى لا باللفظ. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that what He's informing or He's transmitting to us the meaning of what they said, not the utterance except of what they said. But Allah already know what they said, right? And then He said, وَكَلَامُ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى غَيْرْ مَخْلُوقٍ, and the speech of Allah is not created. وَكَلَامُ Musa, and the speech of Musa, وَغَيْرِهِ مِنَ الْمَخْلُوقِينَ, and other creation apart from him, مَخْلُوقٌ, it is created. وَالْقُرْآنُ كَلَامُ اللَّهِ, and the Quran is the speech of Allah Ta'ala, فَهُوَ قَدِيمٌ, and so it is eternal, يعني it has no, this one, beginning of something, right? It is not created thing, it is eternal, because it is originated from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La kalamuhum, and it is not their speech. When Allah is mentioned about some people in the Quran, it is not those people's speech, but it is a speech of Allah which come from the eternity. وَسَمِعَ مُوسَى عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ, and Musa alayhi salam, he heard the speech of Allah. كما قال تعالى, just like Allah says, وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا, and Allah speak to Musa in direct speech. وَقَدْ كَانَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى مُتَكَلِّمًا, and Allah was already the one who speak. Allah was already someone who speak. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ كَلَّمَ مُوسَى عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ, while he has not even speak to Musa. Just as said earlier, Allah was already having the ability to speak before he even speak to Musa alayhi salam. It is not because when he speak to Musa alayhi salam that he now gained the ability to speak. Just like he was what? وَقَدْ كَانَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى خَالِقًا فِي الْأَزَلِ وَلَمْ يَخْلُقْ الْخَلْقِ. Right? As just وَقَدْ كَانَ, where indeed Allah was already some creator fil azal, at the eternity, walam yakhluk al khalq, and he has not yet even created any creation. So Allah was already someone who has the ability to create anything he was in the eternity, while he did not yet even create anything. And this, we usually give the example that a woman who is growing up, you cannot just call her a woman, or sorry, you cannot just call her a mother until she married and give birth, right? And when she give birth, that time you can call her a mother. And if she continue her life until death whilst she has a husband and she not give birth, they will now call her a womanhood, a childless woman, right? She now gain another title, a barren woman, right? So the creation of a woman being born does not mean that that woman is automatically a mother, right? Until something happened before she become the mother. But Allah, in His nature, is that He was already someone who has the ability to create, even when He did not create anything. And so you cannot say a woman is capable of giving birth when she has not given birth. It is there in real life that you find a husband and wife, they all have everything that man and woman need. They don't have any medical issues, but they don't have child, right? And so, for you cannot just say this human being can be a father, or this human being, this lady can be a mother when she has not given birth, right? Even if she has everything that look like she can give birth, until she give birth, we cannot call her mother, because she can look all right, but in nature, Allah made her or him not to have children. So no matter what the person try, he will not get any child, right? But Allah in His nature, Allah in His reality, He was already creator before He even creates anything. It's not that when He created the things that He gained it. But human being, you become something after you have did that thing. But in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in all His features, His attributes, He is already that thing before he even did that thing, right? So Allah is already creator before He created everything. Allah is already muhyi wa mumit, the one who give life and take, and also the one who cause living and also cause death before He even creates anything living, right? So he said, he gave this example to shows that it is not only the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which is eternity, right? Even his ability to create is also an eternity, just like all other of his sifat, his attributes. And so وَقَدْ كَانَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى خَالِقًا فِي الْأَزَلِ, and indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was already a creator in the eternity before He creates the creation. And then he quoted from the Quran, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ, and there's nothing like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's nothing like Him, وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ, and He's the one who hears everything and sees everything. فَلَمَّا كَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى, and when Allah speak to Musa, كَلَّمَهُ بِكَلَامِهِ الَّذِي هُوَ لَهُ صِفَةٌ فِي الْأَزَلِ. كَلَّمَهُ, he speak to him بِكَلَامِهِ, with his speech, الَّذِي هُوَ لَهُ صِفَةٌ فِي الْأَزَلِ, which is an attribute to him in the eternity, right? The speech that he speak to Musa, he speak to him with the speech that is attributed to him in the eternity. Yeah, and it's the attribute that shows that Allah speak, or he has the ability to speak, but he speak at the time he wish to speak, right? Aha. وصفاته كلها بخلاف صفات المخلوقين, and all the attributes of Allah are different from the attributes of the creation. يعلم لا كعلمنا, Allah knows not like the way we know, right? Allah knows, but not like the way we, the creation, we know. Yani, Allah knows everything before that thing even happened, right? And even that, if that thing didn't happen, suppose for it to have happened, how will it happen? Allah already know, right? يقدر لا كقدرتنا. Allah has the ability, He has the capability, but not like the way we have, not like the capability of us, right? He has the ability, not like our ability. Human being, for example, you have the ability maybe to walk, right? But there was a time that you cannot walk. Maybe there will be a time when the person become more old or too old, the person will not be able to walk again, right? But there were a time you will be claiming that you are the strongest, right? You claim that you have energy, you have ability to do whatever you want, right? There were time you cannot have done, you couldn't have done anything by yourself, and there will be the time that you can do it, and there will be a time that maybe you wish to do it, you cannot even do it. And so, but Allah in His ability, it is eternal. There was no time that Allah did not have ability to do anything. He was already having the ability to do whatever He wants, and He is always having the ability to do whatever He wants, and He will always have the ability to do it at any time He wish. And so, yaqdiru la ka kudratina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the ability, but not like our ability. Yara la ka ru'yatina. Allah sees, right? But not like the way we see. And then يتكلم لا ككلامنا. Allah speak, but not like our speech, the way as we discussed earlier, right? Allah speaks, but not the way we, the creation, speak. There are times that we were not having ability to speak. There is time that we can have the ability to speak, and maybe there will be a time, maybe out of old age, the person will even speak, you cannot even hear again. But in Allah's speech, anytime He wished to speak, He speak. There wasn't a time that Allah was not able to speak, right? He speak, but not like the way we speak. And then this, he added some, he said, وَيَسْمَعُ لَكَ سَمْعِنَا. Allah hears not like the way we hear. We hear maybe by our ears, right? But we cannot say Allah to hear because He has ears. No, Allah hears everything, even the the footsteps of ants. Allah can hear it, right? So Allah hears not like the way we hear. نحن نتكلم بالآلات والحروف. And so over here, he's giving us an example of how human beings speak, right? He said, "What نحن نتكلم بالآلات." We speak with what? With instruments or with the means of organs, limbs, and those stuff, right? When you need to speak, you need your tongue, right? You need your teeth, you need your this one, your saliva, and all that, right? And so we, the human, we speak bil alat, with instrument or with organs, right? Wal huruf, and with letters, right? Wallahu ta'ala yatakallam, and Allah speak bila hurufin, without any any letters, wala ala, or without any instrument. But this speech is this statement that he just made that Allah speak without any alat wal huruf, without any instrument or items or organs, or this one letters. Such statement is part of the theology of the Ash'ira and Maturidiyya. But in Ahlul Hadith, it is believed that Allah speak with letters when he speak, because when he speak, the person that he speaks to, he heard the voice, right? And he's also hearing it from the kind of speech. Let's say when he speak to Musa alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, we heard it in Hebrew, with the alphabet of Hebrew, right? And then, even though in Ash'ira and Maturidiyya, they explain that because Musa, let's say, the one who is going to hear the speech of Allah, he need it. That's why he do what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lets him hear it with the huruf and all that, right? So he said, نحن نتكلم بالآلات والحروف. We speak with the organs or the instruments. Yani you speak by your tongue, your this one, your teeth and all that, and huruf and letters. Wallahu ta'ala yatakallam, and Allah speak bila hurufin wala ala, without letters or instrument. Wal huruf makhluqa, and then the letters are created. Wa kalamullahi ta'ala ghayr makhluk, and the speech of Allah is not created, right? And then he said, وَهُوَ شَيْءٌ لَا كَالْأَشْيَاءِ. Allah is something that is not like any other thing, right? And what he mean by Allah is something not like other thing, he mean that Allah is existing, right? When you say that something is existing, that like entity, we say what Allah is entity, not like any other entity, and something that exists, but not like that any other thing existed, right? And so he going to explain what he mean by the entity he mean. He said, "Wa ma'na shay," and the meaning that he said Allah is an entity or something is that ithbatuhu. It is mean what? It's just a merely affirming his what existence. But what? Bila jismun. But he is not a body, right? He exists, but not a body. Wala jawharin, right? And not nor a substance, right? Wala arodin, not neither composed of what they call it, consists of part of something, right? Allah is not made of some things that come together and form him, right? Wala hadda lahu, and Allah has no limits. Wala ضد lahu, nor does he has anything opposite. Wala nidda lahu, nor does he have anything equal. Wala mithla lah, and nor does he have something that is alike to him. And so, but all these statements are the statement of theologians, right? They just try to let us understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not a body, right? Like that occupies space, right? Wala jawharin, and nor is he what they call it, a substance, something, right? Wala aradin, and the aradin is not like consists of some parts of something or whole of something. Like this thing and this thing come together and form him. No. Wala hadda lahu, he has no limit, right? Wala ضد lahu, and nor does he have anything opposite. Like you said, the opposite of a man can be a woman, right? So Allah has nothing that can oppose him. Wala nidda lahu, and nor does he has any something that can be comparable, right? Like equal. He has no something that can be comparable to him or something that is equal to him. Wala mithla lahu, and he also has nothing like him. And so this is what the book is telling us about the kalam of Allah. Allah speaks not because when he speaks to the creation, that is the time he gained the ability. He already has the ability to speak. And when he does anything, it is not because when he does that thing that he gained that ability, or he gained that sifat attribute. He already have it before he even do it. So Allah speak. Allah has the ability to speak, but he speak at the time he wills. Allah has the ability to create, but he creates at the time he wills, right? And Allah knows everything. He has the knowledge of everything even before that thing happened. And so Allah already knew when he created this thing, what he's going to do, right? And then he created it. He know what is everything is going to do about it. He know. So it is not like when Allah Subhanahu wa Taala tests his servant. For example, when he tests Ibrahim alayhi salam to slaughter his son, it's not like Allah wanted to see whether he will pass or he will not pass. Allah already know what is going to happen, but he wanted to manifest into the creation, right? He want the knowledge to manifest into the creation. And Ibrahim alayhi salam also get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being the test Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing him with, and the pass, or let's say the reward he gained by succeeding in being patient to follow the command of Allah. And so it is not Allah did not gain any attribute, or he did not gain any quality or sifat of his by doing something. He already have all those sifat before it manifests to the creation. It's only manifest to the creation when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deem wills for it to manifest and for it to happen to the creation so that they will know. But for not for he, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to gain that sifat. So this is the end of this lesson. Wallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala a'lam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.